to you all. Continue to the camera. My respect to you all. So we will sing Prabhu as you desire Jai Radha Madhava first, and then after we get this connection going on, we'll sing a little verse on Gauranga, and then we'll get the presentation going on. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari This is about our Lord Gauranga. So I will try to see this, and please. There are only. Yes. Uttamadama kichuna bachila yachiye dele kakola kahe premananda yemona gauranga antaradhari yedola. Uttamadama kichuna bachila yachiye dele kakola kahe premananda yemona gauranga antaradhari yedola. One more time. Uttama adama kichuna bachila yachiya dele kakola kahe premananda yemona gauranga antaradhari yedola. Somebody who can please read the translation.
Without discriminating as to who is elevated or fallen, they embraced everyone. Sri Premananda said, "Oh brothers, keep that tree of words which are locked in your hearts and hearts."
Premananda Thakur is one of the associates of Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Gauranga came here to give us that most precious fruit, Krishna prema, that doesn't belong to this world, belongs to the spiritual world. And Premananda Thakur is saying that precious fruit from the spiritual world, Lord Gauranga is here to give that. So Lord Nityananda and Gauranga, they are not looking at our qualification at all. They are just freely giving it. We just have to take it. That's actually as simple as that. We may try to complicate, but this is what Mahajana is saying. That's who Lord Gauranga is, what he's trying to give us. This, I like this one because for people like me who has no qualification at all, there is a hope that Lord Nityananda and Gauranga, they are there for us. And the next one, let's do it. Please repeat after me. Bhaja Gauranga kaha Gauranga laha Gaurangera naam re e jana Gauranga bhaje se yo amara pran re. Bhaja Gauranga kaha Gauranga laha Gaurangera naam re e jana Gauranga bhaje se yo amara pran re. Translation.
Worship Lord Gauranga, chant Gauranga, speak about Lord Gauranga only. Those who worship Lord Gauranga is indeed my life and soul.
Next. We can do this together. Next one. We can do this together. Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya Hemavya Divya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Maha Prema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Translation.
O Sri Chaitanya Chandra, offer you my deed of decency. You are the personification of Krishna's blissful pastimes, and you are extraordinarily beautiful. You are gold, dazzling golden luster. You have awarded to the people of the world the topmost melody and ecstatic love for Krishna.
So, with the blessings of Sri Chaitanya Chandra and the Lord Shri Srila Prabhupada and all of you sitting here will know something about the devotee care, more of individual, our self-care, so we can sustain in spiritual life. We want to sustain in spiritual life. We want to stay steady and get deeper in bhakti. And for that reason, we want to see what aspects of care that we need to know and practice, so we can stay steady in spiritual life. Before that, I'm going to do the pranam mantras, and if you know, please join me. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurumritam Yena
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सहगणा श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Next step. Thank you. So people will be talking about that's Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai. So the topic today about the wholesome devotee care, I would say this topic, the presentation today and the booklet that is written on this, I would consider that as Prasad of Shri Radha Golokananda and the desire of Srila Prabhupada. So whatever we are going to speak today, discuss today, please see whatever is useful to you. And I actually wrote this for my own sake, for my own practice. But I happened to take a course on emotional intelligence because when the devotees, we talk with each other, when we talk about struggles, the struggles that we go through in spiritual life, the struggle with another and everything, not able to get to the Nishta stage, and the mind, we all know what mind can do to us, right? So when we just speak our hearts out, then I realized that there is a need for us to have some information and awareness of how to deal with this mind, so it doesn't really disturb us much as we walk in the spiritual journey. So her Grace Ramboru Mataji, she has masters in divinity, and she was giving this course on emotional intelligence, and that was the topic, to see how the emotional aspect also needs to be considered in the spiritual life, or steadiness in the spiritual life. So after the course, I sent my understanding to her, just wanted to see if my understanding was okay, and wanted some validation and verification. So Mataji said yes, that was all true, but she asked me to share this information with the devotees also, not just to keep that for my personal sake. So that's why I ended up doing the PowerPoint presentation and wrote the booklet. So the hard copy of the booklet is there at Srila Prabhupada. So maybe just probably 10 or 11 or so, maybe each one of you can just take one for the family or so. But I have the soft copy of it, and if you would like to take a look at that, I can share it to you personally or just post on the New Goloka group, so you can take a look at that. So what we are going to discuss today are the topics in that booklet, which she thought will be useful for the devotee care. And I wanted to say, I want to dedicate this topic to all the devotees here in New Goloka, who were really kind, very kind. The devotees of New Goloka, in the family there, in the congregation, in the Dham, everybody were really kind enough. We all need each other as we walk in this journey, and we were all kind enough. So this is all dedicated to the dear devotees here. Coming to the topic, wholesome devotee care. Next one, Pranama. Okay. So what is this about? Wholesome devotee care. Generally, when we hear about this devotee care thing, what comes to our mind? How can we help other devotees, and how have we been helping? An example, what would you think of? Devotee care means? Yes.
Like giving prasadam.
Right?
After dinner with someone else.
Exactly. Giving them prasadam, if they're in the hospital or if they have a newborn baby, they're busy like that, offering prasadam, right? And if somebody is in the hospital, paying their visit, being with them sometimes, right? And at the most sometimes giving some donation, Lakshmi, something like that, if that's helpful to the devotees. These are the little things we think of, right? Devotee care means. In the other course that they were saying, that was Gauranga Prabhu, he was saying, that's what you think when we say devotee care. But please think big. That's what he said. And he just left it to us. He didn't say what think big is. And our assignment was to come up with a plan for our congregation to meet the congregational needs. That was the assignment. So for that, when I started thinking about it, I'm like, devotee care means, first, we have to be healthy. We have to be peaceful. And we have to be happy. Then only we can help others. And then only we can continue to help others with all our heart. Right? So this wholesome devotee care has two aspects. One is self-care, caring for ourselves. And then care the other devotees. There are two aspects. So I wanted to bring awareness to two of these components, not just one. We think, okay, let's do some services, this service, that service. What about you? What about your well-being? So, parallelly, we have to have our well-being, and with the well-being that we have, with the health we have, then we serve other devotees or do the other services. So, two components, self-care and caring for the devotees. Okay? What we are going to focus on today is self-care. And again, when we say self-care, what would you think of? If we ask somebody what is self-care, for somebody who is working 7 days on, 7 days off, working all the time, for them if you ask them self-care means 1 day vacation, I need a break, right? Like that. So, that is what it is. But is that it? Self-care? Is that all? 1 day of vacation? A little leisure time here and there? That's all? Self-care is about 5 aspects. Okay. So, have you written that? Yes. So, self-care, when we say that, the World Health Organization, they say complete well-being means physical, mental, and social well-being. Okay. But for the devotees, we want the spiritual component also. So self-care is taking care of the 5 aspects of ourselves. The physical health, yes we know, right? And physical health, emotional health, cognitive, social and spiritual. This may sound kind of scientific, technical words, but it has a lot to do with bhakti. It has a lot to do with the ananda nivritti. It has so much to do to get to the nishta, steadiness. But I just have to present it this way because even if somebody is not practicing devotion, for them, the self-care is at least the 4 aspects of it, if not spirituality for them. Okay, what is it for us? Please look at this. Physical health. What are we doing about our physical health? Okay, I'm exercising. I'm trying to eat right. That's all we think, right? Is that it? What exactly do you mean by I'm trying to eat right? How is it coming to the practice? Are we able to do it on a regular basis so this body doesn't give us too much of problem? So we can carry on with the service and bhajan well? What more information do we know about this physical health so we can keep this body clean and healthy for service? If we ignore this fact to keep this body healthy, then we may want to do the service inside. We may want to chant inside, but the body may not cooperate. So we will have to know what we need to do, why we need to do. So it come into application on a regular day, on a regular basis. So the details of what is that physical health, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what do we need to do on a regular basis. That we will cover in the physical health aspect. Okay? If we are doing those things, the 2 go points, whatever 4 or 5 things happen, we are good. At least we can maintain our health. Okay? That's physical health. And emotional health. Honestly speaking, I haven't thought about this part myself until a few weeks ago. I would say until 2-3 months ago. This course I attended on the emotional intelligence, I have to say, it's a sort of eye-opener for me. I was thinking myself, wait a minute. I am here trying to practice bhakti. I am doing my best. It is said that if you sincerely chant, if you sincerely do your bhajan, then you will have spiritual progress. And to the best of my knowledge and capacity, I am doing it. And I see whoever is around me, all the devotees, they are trying to do it too. I see it, they feel it, I know it. Then what is it that is stopping us from going further? Why are we not feeling satisfied inside and having steadiness? Why don't we feel anchored? Is there a missing piece there that we need to know? That is the thing I was looking for, especially when we talk to the congregation and devotees with each other. That was the common thing surfacing each time. Doing the very best in bhakti, but there is something missing. What can be done? These are the challenges. That's when I thought, okay, we need to explore this into a little more, gain more awareness, information, and if possible, some tools to give out. So this emotional thing doesn't really bother us much, and we can go steady in the bhakti. That's how I ended up taking that course, the emotional intelligence course. I have a question for you. Please see what you have done with your emotions so far. Do you get any feelings at all throughout the day, whatever feeling it is? Say if we categorize as pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, okay? Do we have any of these feelings? Pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings. Do we?
Yes.
Anger, sadness, disappointment, anxiety, right? Depression, stress, sometimes happy, sometimes joyful. We do get, right? What do we do when we get unpleasant feelings? Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, this is too much. Put them aside. Put them aside. But how to deal with that? Yes, they are unpleasant, but how do I do? What do I do to deal with that? They do come up. That's what ananda means. They do come up. We all have that. Otherwise, we would have been few devotees. Now now, if we are past the Anartha Nivritti stage, if we are in Nishta and Ruchi, in the stage of Ruchi, there are not so much of anarthas that are coming out, unpleasant feelings coming out. But the fact is, we have those unpleasant feelings coming out. And what are we doing with them? One thing that was endorsed by even the emotional science world and in this course too. The emotions and the feelings will continue to come. We are actually a bag of emotions. We have to know that fact. So emotions surface all the time. They do surface. What do with them? What to do with them? Do not repress it involuntarily. Do not suppress them voluntarily. What happens if we do that? Especially with the unpleasant emotions. We don't have to suppress even the pleasant emotions too. But there is a way to regulate them. If we do not let them come out in a regulated fashion, all those emotions, especially the unpleasant emotions that come out of us from time to time, can you guess what happens to us? If we just bottle them up, put the cap tight, let the emotions sit there, what's going to happen to us? We are filled with so much of unpleasantness. There's no room for that to go out in a regulated way. That can show up as frustration, sadness, disappointment, discouragement, loss of hope. And what would happen as a result of it? We would show that outside too. And what kind of effect is that going to have on our physical health? How many sick leaves do we have to take? Right? And what effect is it going to have on our japa? In our spiritual life, how can we go on in bhakti with so much of unpleasantness sitting within us? It is not our fault. It doesn't necessarily have to be our fault that all those unpleasant emotions are coming out. Doesn't have to. It is not our fault. The emotional scientists, they say, it was really beautiful, that point. Do not judge your emotions as positive or negative. For any emotion that is coming out of us, there is a purpose. We have to know the purpose and regulate it. And let it be expressed. Then we don't have any stagnation of the feelings. Then our health is going to be okay. And people around us are also going to be okay. Right? So that part I thought is really crucial for us. And I realized that emotional aspect of it was not much emphasized so far. Honestly, I agree. I haven't paid much attention to that. I was just trying to see what was happening, with myself and what was happening when the devotees were talking. But the spotlight was put in that course. And that was like, wait a minute, this is the missing piece. And we need to acknowledge that. We will be forced to acknowledge, let me put it that way, because emotions do come out. And we need to have a little bit of education of what to do about those when they're coming out. And one good thing is they're coming out for a purpose. We just have to know how to regulate them, and we will move forward in bhakti. Each time we regulate an emotion, we are moving forward in bhakti. Anartha Nivritti is happening step by step, beautifully. So that I wanted to bring it to your attention. That aspect, emotional health, which means emotional regulation and being in harmony within ourselves. Whoever we are, that's what we are. We don't have to be the best. We don't have to be the perfect one. And we don't have to be the excellent one. Whoever we are, what we are, and we'll do our best. So having that kind of harmony with what we are inside, and being in harmony with what is around, and regulating the emotions. That part is dealt more in emotional health. I just gave you a little introduction of it, so we understand the significance of it. If we do not take this into consideration for all of us, Maybe we are doing it, but this is putting a little more focus on that to address that one also. So that will be dealt more in the emotional health. I'm just giving you a little idea of what these aspects are. We will not be able to complete all of this today. What I'm trying to do is just give you an idea of what those 5 aspects of health is. So we have some awareness, and when we have more time and if you think it is useful, then we can go each aspect of it. We will know more about it and we'll start applying it. So that's for later. The cognitive health is good. That is, whatever creativity we have, learning we have, we want to let that come out. If somebody is really good at singing, it doesn't mean that I have to be good at singing. I may be good at something else. All of us, every one of us here, whoever is sitting here, has some kind of talent, God-given talent, something. Garlanding, decorating, cooking, talking, hearing, whatever it is. So whatever that gift that we have, the talent we have, we should just recognize what it is. And one good thing is, we will want to do it. That's how we recognize that it is our gift. If somebody sings well, they can stop it, they want to sing whenever there is an opportunity. And if somebody does cooking, all they want to do is just do cooking. Even if they don't feel well, they still want to cook because that's what they like. So there is something like that for all of us. We just have to water that and offer it to Krishna, whatever the talent is. So that's a little bit about the cognitive health. But the other 2 aspects, social health. My question, is social health important to us? Yes, no, right? Why is it important? Because we are social beings. We are here together. We are not in the Himalayan caves. We are not in the jungles all by ourselves. We are here together. And only when our social interactions are healthy, then be a regular society or a spiritual society, then the society will be healthy, right? And if we think like, okay, I just do this on my checklist and I'm done, and I'll pass my days one after the other like that, then we are like isolating ourselves mentally from the people around us. We are all related to each other. And if we don't consider the bigger picture, we is the real picture. It's not just me, we, all, the bigger picture. If we don't think in those terms, as we all belonging to one unit, I am not one unit, you are not one unit, not like that. We are all one unit. And if our thinking is geared in those terms, and the interactions are dealt with, carried on as a single unit together, then the society will be more healthy. So if we ignore that part, then we kind of struggle to with only my me aspect, because we haven't considered the we, single unit aspect. Right? What does that mean to the devotees? Social health. Again, that will be dealt in detail later, along with the spiritual health. I'll come to this last one, spiritual health. If we check ourselves, is our spiritual health okay? We don't have to say it outside. But how do we know that our spiritual health is okay? Any guess? All of us may be doing the chanting, right? Yes, my japa is going on. Yes, my hearing is going on. I am hearing the katha every day. I am doing my services every day. Those things are happening, right? But how do we know that the spiritual health is all right? Is there one indicator, a definitive indicator that you can think of? Peace of mind, definitely, yes. Peace of mind, yeah. Anything more? Stability, right? Internal stability, peace of mind. Anything else that you could think of? What? Ma'am?
Uplifting ourselves and others.
Uplifting ourselves and others. Yes, beautiful answers. Yes. Anything more you could think of? Because what I mentioned was only Cheshta Bhakti. Doing japa, hearing katha, doing my services, right? Doing my deity worship is all Cheshta Bhakti. External activities. They are happening. But internally, is there the change that is happening? Is there any transformation that is happening? As you're all saying, yes, peace, steadiness, uplifting not just ourselves but others too, right? So these are the internal indicators. Is the transformation, is the spiritual transformation happening within? Is the real indicator of bhakti. Because for years and years, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I may be thinking I am doing devotional service. I may be thinking, okay, well, I am dressed as a devotee. I look like devotee outside. I am doing the devotee things outside. I am doing everything, every day. But if my attitude is no better than anybody who is not practicing devotion, and if I do not have the qualities that Lord Krishna is asking for in Bhagavad Gita, in the 12th chapter, and if I do not understand what the acharyas are singing in their bhajan, if I do not imbibe their mood, if I do not relate to anything that the acharyas are saying, if I do not have empathy for myself and others around, if I cannot respect others, my God brothers and my God sisters, if I can't think them as single unit trying to please Krishna, what kind of devotion am I doing for 10 years, 20 years? So those are the indicators. Internal transformation is the real indicator of bhakti. The external Cheshta Bhakti can last only that much, as much as there is internal transformation. Otherwise it gets dry and falls apart. So how does this internal transformation happen? Where do we get this strength from? Where do we get this ruchi from? From the spiritual help, from the Krishna Katha, from the Hari Bhajan. Those are the powerhouses. Hari Bhajan, Hari Naam, Japa, Krishna Katha. That's the fountainhead. Am I taking that? Am I taking that? Am I connected to that spiritual powerhouse? Hari Bhajan, Krishna Katha? In other words, if I don't see that internal transformation happening within me, then it means maybe I am not serving the holy name properly. Maybe I am not serving the Krishna Katha properly. So that aspect is discussed more in the spiritual health. That's a detailed topic, especially for all the devotees who would want to be more introspective. We want to see what the acharyas say. We want to hear from the words of the acharya. What did Srila Narottama say? What did Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur say? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said. What did Srila Prabhupada say about this, holy name and Krishna Katha? And how to have the transformation. So all that is in the spiritual. That will be dealt in a different section. So that's the last slide. And then the next one. Next one. Thank you. So this is the closing slide for us today. We see that individual devotee care. So when we become aware of and when we are able to take care of ourselves, the self-care in these 5 aspects: physical health, emotional health, cognitive, social health is devotee interactions, and spiritual health. When we care for ourselves in these 5 aspects, and as you all mentioned, the peace will come, the stability will come, and the upliftment will come. That's when we naturally want to contribute to the institution and congregation. Right? And that's when, if you see here, this side, the pyramid, right? The pyramid is an individual devotee who is caring for themselves, in those 5 aspects. ISKCON is nothing but the individual, healthy, happier devotees forming the institution. So the whole ISKCON institution, the building blocks of this ISKCON institution is that healthy, happy devotees who are caring for themselves and want to care for others. If we are doing that, if we are following that, I'm just endorsing that as a pyramid because that can serve as a checklist for us. Okay, I'm taking care of, in these aspects like that. So, a devotee who is taking care of themselves, who is giving self-care, can contribute to institutional devotee care. A more healthier, stronger ISKCON and more bonded ISKCON. Because we are all together in this and we want to see what we can do for our own care and what we could contribute to the devotees around. That's why I said individual devotee care leads to institutional devotee care. I'm going to pause here and I'll let you just please go ahead. Contribute your thoughts, comments, whatever it is. And later on, when you think it's the right time, when you would like to, we can go through each aspect of it in detail. Right? Yeah. Please go ahead with what comments. Any questions or comments? Nana? Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted thank you for the lecture, nice lecture. I wanted some maybe elaboration on social health. I think that yes, we are all devotees, but we're also practitioners, which means that we have a non-devotee side to us as well. And those who interact with, they also might have that side. And so with social health, we have these devotee interactions. How do we keep ourselves in an elevated consciousness and lift others, or choose association that lifts us? Just in general, I guess my question summarized is the non-devotee parts of us, when we're interacting with those and when we're connecting with that socially, sometimes that grows and we put it quote-unquote devotee interaction. How do we avoid or mend that?
Right. That's a good question, right? I will say what Srila Jiva Goswami said about that. A beautiful one. We have that in the social health. I'll just read out Srila Jiva Goswami's word. Sweta Manjari's question was, can you repeat your question in short, Kali?
Or connecting with our non-devotee side and connecting with the non-devotee side of other devotees. How do we avoid that? Because it's supposed to be devotee association.
Right, yeah. I hope what Jiva Goswami said will answer at least a part of your question. Srila Jiva Goswami in Sri Madhava Mahotsava, that's what he says. See, in general, social interactions, not everybody practices spirituality devotion. Whoever is leading, I would say, karmi life, it's not a regular life. Just a casual life outside, they have social interactions. And you look at them, the families that they bond to are really closely bonded to. They have about 5, 6, 10 families or so, and they're really bonded and they're there for each other, you see. But what is the intention there behind that good social interactions and bonding? Expectation that they will be there when I need help. So I will be there for you and you will be there for me when we need each other's help. So that's what makes them bonded, right? In the regular world. But Jiva Goswami says, Though one usually ignores others in attaining one's own goals, those aspiring for prema accept dependence on others with similar goals and tastes. Thus, cooperating with each other, they work together, keeping in mind the goal of prema. This is the purpose of devotee interaction. When we say devotees, it doesn't mean we don't have differences. We do. I may think something is right to do, and you may think something is right to do. I may think it has to be done in a specific way, and you may think it shouldn't be done at all in the first place. Like that. So the differences may be there, but Jiva Goswami is saying, though there are differences, they accept the dependence on each other because their goal, they are aspiring for prema, for the loving devotional service to the Lord. So in order to offer a collective loving devotional service to the Lord, devotees accept dependence on each other, not minding the differences. That is the purpose of devotee interaction. So the purpose is to collectively please Lord Krishna. Why? For Krishna prema. Not just to get together, have some time, social time, okay, everything fine. But actual devotee interaction, the purpose is that. And when we keep that in mind in the devotee interactions, we will not be inclined to find fault with. We will not get so much bored with the devotees around because the purpose is clear, as Jiva Goswami is saying. We are interacting with the devotees for a purpose. So, that way we can ignore the non-devotee aspect of the devotee side because we have a purpose. That's why we are practicing bhakti. Otherwise, what's the point of chanting? Why am I chanting? Right? So, that effort of collective offering to Sri Krishna is the purpose of devotee interaction. Though there are differences, though there are likings and dislikings, we acknowledge it, but still we are all one unit to please Krishna. Adli? Chief. Sorry, Chief. Yes, please.
What are your topics on marriage and Krishna?
Sorry?
What are your topics on marriage and Krishna?
You're asking me a question of what do I think about marriage and Krishna? Oh, marriage or no marriage? We can always do devotional service to Krishna, regardless.
So it's good, and you think, well,
Marrying, not marrying, being in a male body, female body, student or a working woman, all these things do not matter in performing devotional service. All that matters is the desire to perform devotional service and a mentor and a guide to show us how to perform it. That's it. What ashram are we in, which body are we in, does not matter.
well, marriage is pretty important, isn't it?
For those who think it is important, it is important.
I feel it's,
And it is not right or
have a
wrong
chance
question.
to-
Yes,
yeah.
it's not the right or wrong answer. For those who feel it is important, yes, they should get married because they can get married and still do the devotional service. For those who think it is not important, they don't have to get married, they can do the devotional service.
I believe in Krishna, and that's my life, but marriage, I have a kid, and I had a girl, I had a kid with a girl, and I don't hit women or anything like that. I'm a surfer, I'm a surfer, so like, I don't believe in arguments or abuse or anything like that. That's really bad,
Whatever our propensity is, as long as we are engaged in devotional service, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, everybody should have a soulmate. Everybody should have a soulmate.
I think, yeah,
I think
whatever
that's
it is,
important.
whatever they think would help them in spiritual life,
It helps
marriage,
me.
yes, go ahead. No marriage, no
Yeah.
problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Hare.
My understanding so far was that like we do japa and japa takes away our anartha slowly one by one. When I'm hearing this lecture is that we should look at all our anarthas like anger and greed and everything, and we should not leave them aside. We should think, we should analyze and see why they are coming from. So which way it works, like we do devotional service and our anarthas goes down, or we should analyze our anarthas and try to see where they are coming from. So which way it works?
Okay. They run parallelly. As we do the devotional service, we are stirring up. We are purifying ourselves, so the anarthas would come out. So we would continue with the devotional service, but acknowledge what's happening with us. Acknowledge them. And with guidance, try to regulate them. Devotional service will continue simultaneously. They run parallelly. So initially, when we do in the start of bhakti, it may take time to learn to acknowledge them, learn to regulate them, right? But as we move on, we will know how to acknowledge and regulate them. And during the course of the time, it just gets our second nature to acknowledge and regulate it, and the anarthas will slowly come down. Whatever was there within is, because it's all coming out, there's not a lot to come out anymore, unless we are doing repeated anarthas, negatively inflicting ourselves, which we will stop doing also when we start paying attention to it. So it's a parallel thing. As we do the devotional service, this will come out, we acknowledge it, and continue to do the devotional service. That's how we get to the stage of anartha nivritti. And we will come to a point where we are in complete harmony with what's happening within us and what's happening around us. We are not in a conflict. We are not in a competition. And we are not trying to ignore. So we will be in that harmony. And at that time, we will be moving steadily in bhakti because we are in harmony. That's the stage of Nishtha. And after that, Ruchi, because there are not too many hurdles coming out, all the attraction, the hidden attraction that's already there in the soul for Lord Krishna comes out more and more. And the attraction for the devotional service increases more and more. So the Ruchi and further stages would happen fast.
Is it okay to say that the devotional service gives us strength to analyze? And,
Yes.
And in the analysis part, we have to keep doing.
Yes, please. Yeah. Strength and purpose too. It gives us the strength, and we want to acknowledge. We don't want to get stuck in the analysis part, but we'll acknowledge, and then we will regulate it towards devotion. So we will not get stuck there. And that's how, yes, it gives the strength. Devotional service will give the strength. It gives us the purity that we need because we are doing the japa. It is said that with the sincere japa, when all these anarthas or emotions are coming out, initially it's all the mind talk, okay? But with the sincere japa, as we move on, as we get purified, we will be able to see the hand of Krishna in what is happening within us and around. That stage also will come when we are getting closer to Nishtha. And that's when the faith gets very steady. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to thank everybody. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha.
Hare Krishna. So let's thank Ujjvala Rasajna Devi for a very, very important presentation. As a temple, like here locally and also as an ISKCON society worldwide, the focus on these aspects, what Mataji has shared, devotee care, like there's like a very conscious effort to actually, implement a system where everyone who is actually coming to a temple, who wants to be connected to Krishna consciousness, who are practicing sadhakas, can actually get all these 5 levels that Mataji has mentioned. When they are actually provided, if there are any issues with any of these, they have someone who they can go to, talk to, they have good advice, good resources. So this is something that we locally have to have a proper system, and also globally, all over the world is going to be focusing. That's why they are like, Mataji mentioned one course by Ramguru Mataji and Gauranga Prabhu from Chowpatty. So all devotees are actually spreading this awareness, and this is like really important for our spiritual journey. And very nice indication how an imbalance of any of these aspects could be a hindrance in our japa, in our chanting, in our spiritual life. So this is really important, and with great gratitude, I want to thank Mataji for doing this very, very important seva. And this is just the start. This is just the start. So Mataji has mentioned these 5 levels, but we want to go ahead, go into a detail of these levels, and further come up with a system where people, when anyone may have some, let's say, emotional disorder, something has happened in their life, they have someone to go forward to, go to, and just relate to that person and say oh, these are things that are disturbing me, what should I do? That channel, we want to make it open, and everyone having just feeling very comfortable and feeling very confident that yes, I can open my heart and share. And also physical needs.
I want to mention something that this one good news for all of us is, for the whole ISKCON internationally, is the global devotee care team is doing a tremendous, wonderful job behind the scenes. In all the aspects that we have just discussed, they are working on providing more information on each aspect, more resources, and actually practical help also. For the physical health, they are coming up with all the common problems that we have, diabetes, blood pressure, hypertension, the list, okay? And they are coming up with different kinds of treatments that are available for each one, Ayurvedic one, homeopathic one, allopathic one, everything. So information like that in all aspects, physical health, emotional health, and all these 5 aspects, they are working on information, and as I get more information from them, I will be able to provide you more resources also. And again, as Prabhuji is mentioning, it's not limited physically to a place. We will have access to global resources. So we will be able to connect to anybody, any expert in that field, and we'll be able to talk to them, get the help we need. So that is also on its way. And as I receive more, I will be sharing that information with you. For now, all the resources that I have in regards to the physical health and emotional health, I have put in that booklet form. There are only, Kanama, can you please, booklets please open? Srila Prabhupada, yes. So maybe one family each, you please take a look at the booklet and you can have with you. Whoever would like to. And these are only few hard copies. But I can send the PDF format. Maybe I can just, Prabhu, shall I just forward that to you to New Goloka group? And you can just take a look at that. That's a soft copy. And there are resources there for emotional health also. So you can take a look at that. That's all the resources that I have so far. But as I get more, we'll share that.
So thank you so much. So if anyone would like to help with this entire devotee care system, establishing, this is just a start, as I mentioned. We want to have a very established, functioning system. So if anyone would like to be a part in any way, so I guess please contact Mataji, message her, and as we progress in this journey, you can get more and more involved with this area. ISKCON itself as a global organization, we want to progress towards more and more happier and healthier devotees. And that way, as Mataji was mentioning, the concept of be together, we can engage more and more souls, and all of us go back home back to God. So that's our whole thing. And